I'm here to help you with your first grade skills lessons. My name is Miss Jane. Let's get started on lesson 23. Today's objectives are to read tricky words, read words with short vowels, and answer questions about key details of a story while writing a complete sentence. First, we're going to practice our tricky words. I'm going to go through them once, and I want you to repeat after me. Then I'll put them up again to see if you can remember them on your own. This time, repeat after me. I. A. No. Of. So. Is. To. All. Some. From. Word. Are. Have. Were. Said. Says. One. The. Who. Do. To. Once. I'm going to go back through them one more time, and I want you to say all the ones that you know. I'm going to say them too, so say them at the same time as me. I. A. No. Of. So. Is. To. All. Some. From. Word. Are. Have. Were. Said. Says. One. The. Who. Do. To. Once. Great job! Give yourselves a pat on the back for knowing those tricky words or practicing them with me if you're not sure about all of them yet. Practice makes perfect. Next, we're going to review some more of our consonant code cards. What sound have we got here? This sound is B. Say it with me, B. And we spell B with one B, as in bat. That power bar is pretty big. Do you remember what that means? That means it's pretty common to see B spelled with one B. There's another spelling here, two B's, as in rubbing. That power bar is shorter. That means it is less common to see two B's to say B. Next, we have a sound that looks like B, but this one's different. What's this sound? Don't be tricked. This one is D. Say it with me, D. We spell D with one D as in dot. The power bar is pretty big. That means it's common to spell D with one D. We have two other spellings for the sound D. Two D's as in add and ED as in filled. Those power bars are much shorter, so it is less common to see D spelled that way. Next we have G. Say it with me, G. We spell G with one G as in gift. That power bar is pretty big. That means it's common to see G spelled with one G. But we have another spelling here. Two G's, like egg. The power bar is much shorter, but sometimes you'll see G spelled with two G's. What do we have next? Now we have, say it with me, and we spell with one F as in fit. The power bar is pretty big. That means it's common to see spelled with one F. We have another spelling here too. Two F's as in stuff. But the power bar is much shorter. That means it's not as common to see spelled with two F's. What sound do we have here? Here we have, say it with me. You can spell with one S as in sun. That power bar is pretty big. That means it's common to spell with one S. We also have two S's here, as in dress. Sometimes, but much less common, you'll see spelled with two S's. There are three more spellings for the sound. We'll learn about those later on. What sound do we have here? This is We spell with one M. Say it with me. As in mad. That power bar is almost all the way across. That means it's very common to see spelled with one M. But sometimes you might see two M's, like swimming, but it is much less common. Next we have the sound ul. Say it with me, ul. We spell ul with one L, as in lip. The power bar is pretty big, so that means it's common to see ul spelled with one L. But there's another spelling, two L's, as in bell. The power bar is shorter, but you'll still see ul spelled with two L's sometimes. The last sound we've got for today is k. Say it with me. K. K can be spelled with one C, as in cat. That power bar is pretty common. Or one K, as in kid. The power bar is smaller, but we can still see there are quite a few words with K for k. Another spelling is CK, as in black. That one gets a little tricky. It's not very common, but you will see it sometimes. You just have to remember that CK says k. And there's a fourth spelling too. Two C's will say k, as in hiccup, but it is much less common. Let's look at our story for today. Yesterday we read about a pet cat named Bud. Today, Nat's new pet has fins, not fur. What do you think Nat's new pet could be if it has fins? Let's read to find out, and then we'll have some questions to answer. Today I want you to try to read along with me. Do your best to read at the same time as I'm reading. The fish. This is a snapshot of Nat's fish. The fish swim and splash and munch on fish snacks. The cat can smell the fish. It can press on the glass. It can grab at the fish, but it cannot get them. Let's look at the questions about today's story. I want you to complete these on your own, but I'll read the questions to you. Number 1 says Nat had. Read the answers and fill in the correct one. Number 2 says the fish munch on. What did the fish munch on? Fill in the bubble for the correct answer. On the next page, we have number 3. This says, can the cat smell the fish? Let's think back to the story. Can the cat smell the fish? Write a complete sentence. Remember, a complete sentence is a whole thought to tell me, can the cat smell the fish? Make sure you put a capital at the beginning and a period at the end. The last question, number 4, says, can the cat get the fish? Do you remember from the story? Can the cat get the fish? Write a complete sentence to tell me the answer to this question. Remember, a complete sentence is a full thought with a capital letter at the beginning and a period at the end. That's all we've got for today. Great work, and I'll see you next time.